Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Now we are going to discuss this topic, the power of devotion in developing good qualities in a devotee. It might seem simple, if you do devotion, you become good. God is good. But it's not that simple. There are a few questions there. Number one question is, where many people ask is, does devotion automatically help us develop good qualities? Or do we have to willfully cultivate good qualities in our life? What should we do? Now some traditions like Madhva, Ramanujacharya, they will like to say, okay, when you do devotion, you have to develop simultaneously good qualities in your life. And they have a particular term for that. They have a particular term which is called as Brahmanatva. It is said in Madhva Sampradaya, they say, who can attain God? Who has developed Brahmanatva? So they emphasize a lot on developing good qualities. Or in other words, they emphasize a lot on dharma. Dharma means religiosity. So we have to parallelly practice dharma with bhakti, with devotion, if we want to really please God. Because dharma helps you to attain good qualities, and devotion helps you to serve Krishna. And when you combine both, then you serve God, you serve Krishna or Vishnu or Narayan with good qualities, and then that's when God becomes pleased. You can't be bad and serve God and please Him. That's not possible. Of course, you're bad and you can still serve God and you can attain His mercy, but as far as pleasing Him, that's a very different issue there. Okay, so some other people might have different opinion, and they might say, okay, developing good qualities, if you do devotion, automatically good qualities will manifest in your life. That will be automatic. You don't have to separately cultivate good qualities. And the often quoted verse is 5th canto, 18th chapter, 12th verse. The verse goes like this: Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvai gunai satra samasate sura harao bhaktasya kuto mahatguna manorathena asati bhai. The verse says, anybody who is doing devotion to God, devotion to Krishna, he will automatically develop all good qualities of those find in demigods, and he will and a non-devotee, how can he have any good qualities? Because he is just on the chariot of his mind. He's not connected with God. So these are two opinions, and they are always conflicting. One side they say you have to cultivate good qualities, another side they say you don't have to put a separate endeavor to cultivate good qualities. By devotion, automatically good qualities manifest. So what is the conclusion? So here is a confusion, and now we need to go to conclusion. Now you might say, how it's going to affect our devotion? Well, it's going to affect our devotion a lot, because if we don't understand this crux, if we don't understand this point, we might be doing devotion our whole life, and we might be still having all bad qualities and bad habits in our life, and this doesn't please God. This actually displeases and frustrates Him. In fact, Bhagavad Gita, this chapter is a divine and demoniac, 16th chapter, and Krishna says, my devotees, if you develop all these divine qualities, this will be very conducive to devotion, and it will actually please me. And Krishna says to Arjuna, you don't need to worry, you already have divine qualities. He assures Arjuna that for you to please me, it's not so difficult, because you already have all divine qualities. Of course, here I would like to pause a little, and I would like to take a separate issue altogether. And the issue is, why should we have good qualities to serve and to do devotion to God and then to please Him? Why exactly? You see the point, the good qualities, all the good qualities, for example, humbleness, truthfulness, and then austerities, cleanliness, simplicity, tolerance, all these good qualities help to make our mind peaceful and happy. And only a peaceful and happy mind that can focus on God and meditate on God. If you have bad qualities, then your mind becomes agitated, lust, anger, greed, and you get evil thoughts which hinder your devotion. So good qualities are favorable to devotion. It produces a favorable atmosphere in your mind, in your heart, and then you can keep God in your heart and do devotion. And that's why to develop good qualities is very important. But the central question is, should we cultivate it separately or it will automatically manifest through devotion? Both parties have their own verses and have their own things. Now, what's the harmonization of both of them? Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he has written an article to actually harmonize these both opinions. And they say, well, okay, devotion definitely helps you to cultivate, devotion definitely develops good qualities in a devotee automatically. That's absolutely sure. Why? Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport to this verse, 5th canto, 18th chapter, 12th verse. If you open that, you see, Prabhupada writes, because the devotee is connected to Krishna, and Krishna is all good, and He's God, and if we connect to Him and if we meditate on Him, automatically we become like Him. His all good qualities transfer in the devotees because the devotee is meditating on Lord Ram, and Lord Ram is always truthful, so devotee will also become truthful. He'll get those qualities. And the example is a butterfly meditates. Butterfly meditates on the caterpillar, and the caterpillar soon becomes a butterfly. And this is a famous example given. So the idea is, if you meditate on someone, you become like him. You tend to gravitate to become like him. So that's the point. So of course there's no question, there's no argument against this point that if you connect to God, you develop all good qualities automatically. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur makes a very important point here. And this is an article in his Gaudiyas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written a beautiful article, and he says, well, but the point is to do devotion to God in a conditioned stage, that's difficult. To meditate on God 24 hours, it's very difficult. If you can meditate on God, then you develop all good qualities. But the point is, can you meditate on God 24 hours? Can you meditate on Him even 1 hour with full focus? Our minds are completely disturbed in this age. And that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Mahaprabhu came up with the idea. And he says, okay, there are so many good qualities. Bhagavad Gita mentions 19 good qualities. Bhagavata mentions 26 good qualities of a Vaishnava. There are different kinds of lists there, but there are so many good qualities. Krishna has infinite good qualities. There's no end to it. So Mahaprabhu says, okay, you don't need to develop and cultivate all good qualities, but try to cultivate 3 out of them. He chose 3 out of them, of all those good qualities. And if you practice these 3 central good qualities, divine qualities, it will be very easy for you to focus your mind on God and to meditate on Him. And once you meditate and focus your mind on God, then automatically all other qualities will manifest. But these 3 qualities you have to cultivate. You have to put your will and your desire to have them. You have to practice them in your life in the face of all adverse situations which demand that you should leave these good qualities and take to wrong actions and wrong ways to actually fulfill your ends and your goals. But we have to practice it. We have to cultivate it. Now, what are these 3 qualities? As Mahaprabhu said in 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗶 3rd verse, he says, "Trinadapi sunichena 𝗙cie 𝗶𝗶 amanena mandena kirtaniya sada hari." He says, okay, if you want to do devotion always, meditate on God always, to focus your mind on God, on Krishna, then you have to do 3 things, 3 good qualities: humbleness, trinadapi sunichena, 𝗙cie 𝗶𝗹𝗶, tolerance, and the third is giving respect to others and not expecting respect from others. Amanena mandena. With these three qualities we practice, and then we do devotion, then all other qualities will automatically manifest. Mahaprabhu gave us this method, and even out of these three, number one quality is humility. That a devotee should always practice. And that is why humility is called as a queen of all good qualities. Once a queen comes, all her maid servants will follow her. And that is why all traditions, they emphasize so much on humility, especially theistic traditions, and especially a Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, it emphasizes on humility. Humility is, in fact, sometimes synonymous with devotion. That's how important humility is. So, and that's the harmonization of, okay, should we cultivate or will automatically manifest? Yeah, cultivate 3 out of them, and others will automatically manifest. This is one way to understand the whole debate, whether we should cultivate or whether we'll automatically manifest good qualities. Another way to understand, now I'm going to another way to understand, solve this whole problem of the whole confusion, the whole argument there. Another way is given by m𝗲𝗶𝗶𝗶, and he says, okay, devotion automatically manifests all good qualities in a devotee, but before the qualities manifest, you must also practice them. Now, he brings up a technical point there, and he says, yes, Bhagavatam says, 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗶𝗶 𝗙𝗶 Srimad Bhagavatam says that if you do devotion, then all good qualities manifest. 5th canto, 18th chapter, 12th verse. But the point there is, 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗶𝗶 𝗙𝗶. 𝗙𝗶 means pure devotion. If your devotion is pure, but most of us in conditioned stage, our devotion is mixed. Not mixed with conscious materialistic desires, but mixed with unconscious materialistic desires. It's all mixed somewhere down in our hearts. There's a mixture. There are some materialistic desires in our heart, deep in our subconscious, which we also have no idea of. So our devotion is not exactly 100% pure. It is pure, but it's actually mixed somewhere. So that is why we don't develop good qualities. And we see many devotees practicing devotion for so many years and they have no good quality. What's happening? Well, there are 2 options. First of all, they might not be practicing devotion by right technique, or they are doing something nonsense there in their life. Another thing is, they are practicing devotion sincerely. By the same time, they are practicing devotion, but it's mixed somewhere. They have some desires in their heart which we all do not know what's happening in our hearts. It's all mixed up, mashed up. So m𝗲𝗶𝗶𝗶 says, so it's better that we start cultivating good qualities along with devotion. And the example given, he gives an example. Suppose if there is a fruit on the tree and you are waiting for the fruit to become ripe and fall in your lap so that you can eat it. Well, you can do one thing, you can wait. Another thing is, you can climb the tree and pluck the fruit, keep it with you, and wait for it to ripe in your basket. That you can do. But if you wait for the fruit to become ripe and fall in your lap, one thing can happen is another bird can come and it can take that fruit away. Another thing, you can get completely frustrated simply waiting. So that is why m𝗲𝗶𝗶𝗶 says, okay, develop good qualities, cultivate them, and these good qualities which you are cultivating before, alongside devotion, he brings up a technical term. He says aparoksh and paroksh. These good qualities are paroksh gun. Paroksh gun means these qualities you are practicing. You are seeing in scriptures, okay, saints are truthful, I should be truthful. Saints are humble, I should be humble. Saints are simple, I should be simple. And you're trying to follow that in your life. But these qualities you have not yet realized them, you're practicing them. And that is why it's not spontaneous. You're trying to imitate saints. So that is why these good qualities are called paroksh. Paroksh. Para means somebody other, iksha means eyes. You are trying to follow somebody other, imitate others. Prabhupada says imitation of good things is good. And then, so then your mind will become peaceful. You will not be unnecessarily entangled in so many bad things or so many politics in the temple and there's so many nonsense things. So it will save your time, it will save your energy to deal with nonsense things, and it will also make your mind peaceful. And then you can do devotion nicely. And when you do devotion nicely, you will be able to see your heart, and you will be able to see your other materialistic desires which are mixed with your devotion, and then you can get free of it. And once you get free of it, then by the power of devotion, you develop spontaneous good qualities. Now those good qualities which you are trying to cultivate, they become realized in your soul. They become spontaneous. They become yours. And that is called as aparoksh gun. There's another technical term, aparoksh. Paroksh means following somebody else. Aparoksh means not following somebody else. You add a. You're now following yourself because you have good qualities. You have earned them in your life. Those are realized good qualities. And the Bhagavatam is saying, that's what m𝗲𝗱𝗶𝗹 harmonizes. He says when Bhagavatam says all good qualities automatically manifest, what Bhagavatam means is all aparoksh gun, all realized qualities automatically manifest. That's what Bhagavatam is saying. And that's how he harmonizes this whole issue of whether it should be cultivate or whether good qualities automatically manifest. So there are two ways to handle this question. And what should we do? Well, we follow the system of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if you can cultivate all good qualities, that's the best. But if you can't, Mahaprabhu says, okay, try 3 of them. If you can't even try 3, start with 1 and things will follow. By the way, before ending the lecture, I just want to add here one thing. Although Bhagavatam says all good qualities manifest, and when you practice devotion, yes, indeed, the realized qualities will manifest in your heart. But the story doesn't end there. You have to preserve them and you have to nourish them. Both these two things we have to do by using our free will. Otherwise, they'll vanish. They'll vanish. These good qualities are gifts of God, which He gives you, which He infuses in your soul and makes you realize the power of these qualities, the dimension and the depth of these qualities. Even a simple quality as truth, it's having a very deep dimension, very broad dimension. Even a simple quality as simplicity, you can spend your whole life understanding simplicity. These are very grave things, very deep things, subtle things. And God gives His gift to His devotees. And then you have to keep them, you have to cultivate them. You have to nourish them, not cultivate, sorry. You have to nourish them, you have to grow them, and also you have to preserve them lest they perish. That will be our service. That will be our service to God, to keep them safely. Otherwise, they will perish, they will vanish, they will get destroyed, and we will again fall and stoop into bad habits. So, it's, you see, it's a dialogue between God and us. It's a dialogue. We do something for Him, He does something for us, and then we do something for Him, and then He does something for us. And then both together, when both devotee and God works together, then the devotee advances, his consciousness raises, and he becomes qualified to actually stay with God and become His associate. And that's what we want. And that's how this question is so important in our lives. Bhaktivinoda Thakur Bhaktisiddhanta spends so much time on this question of cultivating good qualities or spontaneous development of good qualities. It's a prominent theme in Srimad Bhagavatam which Acharyas are dealing with. And if we understand this properly, we can actually advance in devotion very fast. Hare Krishna, 𝗙C𝗶𝗹𝗶.